Okay, hello guys. So, welcome to our very first GGWP Heroes podcast hosted by yours truly. So, yeah. So, welcome to the first ever podcast, live on Twitch. Basically what GGWP is that we are a group of friends that actually came together to try and bring back, our local and possibly the regional Overwatch community. So we are a group of friends trying to put in our time to bring back the community in terms of events, and content as well. So this podcast, the Heroes podcast, is actually uh, a part of the events that we've planned to actually, try and connect some certain people, certain icons from our local regions. To introduce them, get people in our community to know who they are, what they've been doing, and probably some fun facts about them. And so today we actually have a special guest. His name is Blueice. He's actually a coach for numerous regions Overwatch teams, and he has been in the scene for years. And today we have him with us, and he'll be talking to us about his experiences and whatnot. And so looking forward to it. And also, if do support us at our Ko-fi, the link is down below on the screen. As you can see, we are doing this completely with our own time and everything. So every little donation and every little support helps. So without further ado, I'll be bringing on our guest, Blueice. And yeah, Blueice, are you there?
Yo, what's up, man? How are you?
Hello. Okay, I'm just gonna jack up your mic for a little bit. Okay, so Blueice, how are you feeling today?
Doing great. I excited for this podcast. A bit nervous, I would say. I scared I said the wrong thing.
Okay, hold on. Let me adjust the music real quick. I don't want it to be completely silent over here. All right, this should be fine. Okay, so welcome you to our very first podcast. This is something new, I think, for both of us as well. So without further ado, let's go on, to the questions. Please introduce yourself, Blueice.
Hi everybody, I'm Blueice. You guys can call me Blueice with my real name Jason Tan. So I'm the coach for currently coaching for O and Bo right now. And also I've been in the since the start of Overwatch. I've been a player before, I've been a coach before. I also been through many multiple regions, as NA, I go to China also. I was a Pacific player before. Now I currently in EU.
Okay, so you have been in numerous regions for the past few years, gaining experience from so many teams, as a player, as a coach. But one thing that stands out from a lot of this actually is your IGN. Why Blueice? You have people, having different kinds of names, like probably part of like having their IGNs as part of their names, something memorable, sometimes maybe even anime and stuff like that. But why Blueice?
Okay, so the funny thing about my name, right, is okay, this is a name that me and my sister come up with when we were playing a mobile game a long time ago. So it was actually coming from a Chinese alphabet called Lan Bing Yu. So Lan Bing Yu translate into Lan is blue, Bing is ice, and Yu is rain. But then we decided to carve the rain part because it just a song, so we just left with blue eyes. Then the number behind it is just my birthday. So for example, my sister one, we also have the same name, but he using his own birthday, so it's 0501.
Oh, so you basically your sister's name is Blueice 0501.
Mm.
I see. Okay. So moving on, how do you get started in Overwatch? How do you find out about the game in the first place? And what really made you, you know, play this game for so long?
Okay, so the funny thing about it is before Overwatch, okay, let's don't count mobile game or let's don't count something like Mario or something like that. I have never touched any PC game before. So technically, Overwatch is my first PC game. I have never get in touch on any PC game ever. So there was this one day, right? So how to say, I went to my friend's house to prepare for some school stuff. So I saw him playing Overwatch. It was at the early start of Overwatch. I think he was playing in the beta. So he introduced me to the game. Then he let me try it. Then I found it really fun, so I decided to play. How to say? I decided to buy the game and play it onward.
Hmm. But so what made you like how it's been so long since Overwatch came out. It's been so long since you've actually bought the game. What made you stay throughout so many years?
Mm, I would say one of the big part of the reason is my friend along the way. I would say, like making new friends doing my way through Overwatch and keep playing with them is quite fun. I would say I'm a kind of a person who like to how to say doesn't like to solo queue a lot. I love to play with my friend. So as long as my friend is still in the game, I will still play with them. You see.
I see. I see. Okay, so before we move on to talk about your career as a player, as a coach, what's something you would like to tell the players, the community members of this region?
Okay, this is a tough question actually. Like, okay, so I can be real at the start. It can sound a bit bad, but I will change it a bit in the midway. So, like as you guys know, currently there's not really a scene in our Pacific region. So this is a hard truth about it. But in a bright side there, like this gamer like us, I was also actually part of the gamer like us community also. We try to bring back a community, so be excited about that. But I will say like this game still have a lot of potential. Like especially since they have announced Overwatch 2 coming out. So mean to say like how to say even right now that we don't have anything, but in the future we cannot say anything about the future. Like in the future there might be like new scene going on, like new tournament. They maybe soften out the like a license issue, so we have more third party tournament coming up. So I would say this game still worth to grind for. Even how to say, in any way, this is still a fun game to play for casual. So don't give it up yet.
Okay, very very inspiring, message from one of the oldest players in our region who is still playing till this day. So, so as we all know from the introduction before, you have been a player for teams throughout the years. You've been a coach for throughout the years. So today, for the first part, we're gonna talk about your experience as a player. So like, what's some of the experiences you can share? And I also heard that you actually played for overseas team once, also known as GE. So could you care to share about this?
Uh, okay. Can I start from the beginning, like how I start from the player first?
Yeah,
I
sure.
think that's better from the start. So so at the start, it's actually I start with a team there from my own Malaysia team with my IRL friend. So like we saw one like community tournament going on in Malaysia, then we decided to just went for it. So in the end, my team got third place. It was unexpected because like we think we just going in for fun, you know. And Malaysia last time have some really strong team. We didn't expect to get number third. So this was at that time that inspired me to like continue to play for like professionally. So then like you said, after the while, how say Malaysia don't really have any tournament anymore, so the team has been disbanded. So I decided to looking for team for other team. Oh. So it was at the time I have the option to go for GE or go for another Singapore team. So in the end, I choose for GE team due to environment is much more like suitable for me, and I would say how to say it was quite fun playing with them.
I see. Okay, we actually have a clip of you playing with your
Oh
GE
shit!
team. So yeah, we're gonna hop on right in. And
Alright.
yeah.
This one. I have a fun fact to talk about this game. We can talk about it later.
Sure. So as you can see, Blueice, you took out two. This was in fact in a goats meta, right?
Yeah, this was in the Ghost meta, and holy shit, I'm the carry of the team last time. Lucio was so much fun.
So you said that you wanted to share something more about this match in general.
So in this one in general, there was this fun fact because they actually have built out a bootcamp in India. So five of the members was in India. I was invited also, but at that time I would have school, so I didn't go for it. But then the problem with that is, okay, this is going to sound a bit shitty for GE, but like,
Oh, disclaimer. No
no,
ill
okay,
intentions.
yeah, but that because it was really new. Okay, then again, it was really new, but like they haven't set up the thing properly, so the internet line was not like how to say was not stable. So
Uh-huh.
in this game, we have been keep dissing throughout the game. Like this was a 3-0 game, but even up to 2 hours. Imagine a 3 game in 2 hours. That's
Oh
how long it takes because
no.
we have been keep disconnecting. At
Ouch.
one point, five of our members disconnect left me in the lobby. I was like just chilling at the lobby, saying like, "Oh, guys, hi."
So the times
But
when
it's really like,
Malaysia
hmm?
internet was actually stable for once.
Yeah, finally one time Malaysia internet had carried me off.
I see. So how long would you actually play with this team, GE?
I would say this was the longest thing I ever played with. I think it's approximately about 2 years. Or nearly, I don't think it's fully 2 years, or I think it's nearly 2 years, 1 year and 9 months. I would say
Two
something like that.
years. But like I'm pretty sure they will have like time zone differences, maybe language barriers. Do they, how was your relation with the team in terms of like your practices when you scrim, lifestyle in general?
So in terms of time, what you call time difference, there's not really much because like our screen time is always standard before the Korean time zone. Like so, it's always like what was it called? Uh, how was the time again? I kind of forgot. Yeah, I so long didn't screen this video. I think it's 6 to 8, then 8 to 10, something like that, if I'm not wrong. So it was quite normal for me, even though like Ryan just correct me, it's 7 to 9. My bad. So yeah, but there was this few times that we try hard scream. We scream 3 board in a day. We scream in EU, so I scream until 2 a.m. That was like a bit tiring, I
Wow.
would say. But yeah, but I would say even though it's tiring, this was still one of my best thing to ever stay because like I was the youngest there. In the team, so and everybody is like a lot more older than me. Then they really took care of me as their little brother. Like they teach me a lot in terms of life lesson, in terms of like how to treat people in real life, all this stuff. So not only I learned a lot like as a player in there, I learned a lot as a person in there also. So I would still say this was one of my best team ever.
I see, I see. So you pretty much enjoyed, your time, playing with the numerous teams, especially this team GE as you mentioned. So what made you change from a player to a coach, like what you are today? What was the thing that this made you decide, hey, why not, not be a player, hop on in the back lines as a coach? What pushed you towards this?
So it was primarily due to like two things. One is my school related stuff, and secondly is my health. So school related like actually because I had to balance the time from playing, then like and like studying. It's really quite hard because like I said, if I scream 3 board a day, I could spend 6 hours, not including watch, so it could be 8 hours a day. You see. So it was quite tiring. That's first thing. Second thing is generally it's just my health is going like really bad that I cannot catch up with the speed of the game anymore. So my reaction time like become really slow, then like my aim is not that accurate anymore. Like a lot of things happen, so I decide to like how to say I know that as a player wise I don't think how to say even though like my health could be get better in the future, but like I don't think in the short term wise I can catch up with like, all those players in the start. So I rather to convert to the coach. And plus the fact that I cannot reach my goal as a player as to reach in contender in 2019 I think. So it kind of reached my goal already, so I decided to just okay I can try to soft retire a bit, then I decide to move into coach.
I see, I see. So, before we move into talking about, your coaching career and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure a lot of people, okay, so if you're, let's say you're an Overwatch player, you just scrim, you play the game, you play ranked and stuff like that. So what is being a coach, Overwatch coach, like? What's your lifestyle compared to a player? Or what do you do as, in a daily life as an Overwatch coach for a team?
Uh, it was really different compared to a coach. I mean player compared to a coach. Like as a player wise, you have to like keep grinding again, like go on to rank daily, then like grind your mechanic, grind your game sense, everything. Then you have to scream also. Then you have to self work yourself, like try to learn from your mistake, everything. But as a coach, right, is I won't say it's a lot more relaxing because like it's basically the same, but as like you spend the time from like what was it called from playing the game to watching the world, like analyzing the world, how to help your team to find mistake and like find out points for them to improve. It's just a fair I would say is like people dependent. Like depending are you a more grinding person or are you a more analytic person? Like to see which one will be more tiring.
I see, I see. So in the teams that you were in, as a coach, what role do you usually play as a coach?
Uh, wait, what do you mean by that?
So like like some people, we have head coaches, we have assistant coaches, we have maybe macro, micro, what people say and stuff like that.
Oh,
So yeah. So what kind of coach were you most of the time?
so so far I'm generally on assistant coach a bit more because that like I still quite new as a coach. I say compared to a lot of coach out there, my experience is not that much. But in terms of that, in terms of macro and micro one, I'm more on what was it called? Actually, really good at both of it to be honest. But I would say right now my direction is moving more on a micro one work person, helping people like finding out their micro mistake and like what was it called? Figuring out how they should like improve by themselves. but I still give a lot of macro like feedback to my head coach, so like we can prepare like a macro work together. Then we like, but I like a speaking for him to, I give a speaking to him in the war section.
I see, I see. So basically, it's a lot of more of the the mental straining as a coach. You have to be able to know what mistakes your players make. You must be able to know how to fix them and be able to let your players learn in a way where they can absorb it. Not rather than simply reading from a textbook or something like that. So like, could you tell us about some of the teams you have actually coached over the past few months and years?
So far I can coaching for, I coach like for, I call for Jaeger for the Singapore team, which is that's your team. I think you know
Okay,
it.
okay.
Then there was like Kara from NA. There was like Introvert from China. There was O and Bo right now currently in EU. Also, I'm also assistant coach for Team Malaysia, but
Team
that
Malaysia.
one was a bit awkward situation, so I can't want to
I,
talk about that.
I think
So
I
yeah,
think we all know about the weird Team Malaysia thing. So okay,
yeah,
we actually have your Liquipedia prepared over here, so we can just go through
mm,
it. Like, not okay. Let's be real. Not a lot of players in our region would have their own Liquipedia pages, other than some of the contenders players and stuff like that. So yeah, this is basically your Liquipedia page. We're gonna go through it. So as you said, as a coach, you've actually gone through quite a lot of teams. Wow.
yep,
So you actually have Kara. I believe this is Kara from Gauntlet.
mm,
You have Jaeger over here. You have Intro Wave when you went over to China, and then
mm.
yeah, over the span of like almost a year, you have been to like so many regions. Like how did like these players reach out to you? To say, hey, Blueice, could you come and help coach with us? That's one thing I'm really curious about. Like, not like being a coach is one thing, but being a coach in so many regions. Like, did they ever have like any differences in the way of them approaching you, or how do they usually approach you when they want you to coach?
Okay, so let's start with how they reach out to me. So let's start with Kara first. Like since actually no, let's start with Jaeger first. So Jaeger is was a Singapore team. Like I mean, it's your team either way. You know me, we are both really friendly. Then like most of the people on that team also like is fair to me. So it was at that time like I think it's Kev Kun, a Myanmar player that they reached out to me asking, can you try to coach our team? So that's how I started to coach. Even though other than the Team Malaysia experience, why I don't have any experience. So that's where I started. So I would say I did pretty well in that team. Then the other coaches in that team, Pirate Fred has seen my potential. Then he asked me to, what was he called? He asked me to try for his NA. That's how I got into NA scene. Like so then I started coaching in NA for like I think for half a year.
I see.
Then after the NA team like we disbanded. So yeah, that's like call then I take short back of it. Then in terms of intro wave right, it's like intro wave was handled in one of my it's handled by one of my old head coach in one of my team before. It was IU. That's where I got contacted as a player. So he was like he was trying to desperately to find a person who speaks Chinese so he can translate and
Ah,
help to communicate with the player. Due to
okay.
China contender have the rule of you must have at least like three member of China player. So that's how I get into introvert basically. Then I worked for the team for about like 2-3 months. Then also I decided to leave due to some internal issue. Then for this O and Bo team, it's because the how to say since the time I got coach NA right, I got my reputation up in both NA and EUC. NA and EUC is actually quite close. I would say they both communicate well each other and they share information together. So just like in a really good timing, they're trying to find another coach since the head coach is leaving. So they reach out to me, like say asking me am I interested. Then since they got recommended by some of the people I know in NA, so that's how I get into NA team.
Okay. So it's basically just getting your name out there. Building relationships with different people. To be fair, it's not easy. Like, starting from Ace. Ace tournaments, like, usually you don't really get as much recognition. Let's be real, compared to other regions, because contenders were shut down in Pacific, and then they had a third party tournament in replacement for uh
Mm.
the Pacific contenders. So being able to stem out, from Pacific into so many regions. Pretty much, let's say every single region. You have basically been to every region. Overwatch is in. You've been to NA. For Kara, you've been to China, which is not an easy region to breach, because I heard there's a lot of administrative stuff to do. And then
Yep.
now you're also in EU contenders as well, coaching a team with. Let's take a look at the team that we are talking about here. I think they are like pretty, like, I would say I would say professional, but notable members in this team. You have like Kathy. I'm pretty sure like a lot of people know who Kathy is, because
Yeah.
like he's been a long time player as well. And then Ellie is one of the better DPS players out there, I think. And then we've been on a team with so many people, so many, like, how to say, interactions, I would say. Like, where are you? Where are you? You're down here. So you're pretty much the only one with your own Wikipedia page at this point. In the organization tab and stuff. So
Yeah.
also you actually played quite a number of weeks in Pacific contenders. Like, are you?
Mm.
Oh yeah, and also fun fact. Blueice has one of the more unique, I would say, IGNs in this region, because his IGN actually has an IU in front of it, with an underscore, So not
Ah.
yeah, so not many people actually have that. I only know pretty much like only a handful, because back then, like for GE, we actually requested to remove our
G
GE in front.
underscore Ayako.
Yeah, because everyone, when we went to rank, will be like, "Hey, you professional," and then if we lost the game, like the amount of stress, it's just there, like losing with that name in front of it. So I mean, you did mention to me once that it was one of the reasons why you're not playing on your main, right? Because of that
Yep.
IU tag, because of the stress. But yeah, I mean, that's one thing I think it's pretty unique, coming from so many regions, having your own. I wouldn't say having your own Wikipedia page is that much of a big deal, but looking at so much of your accomplishments in different regions, I'm pretty sure you're probably like one of the only coaches in Overwatch that has been to every region. Let's be very frank here. I can't think of any other coach that actually has done something like that. So that's big props to you. And so yeah, having coached like so many regions, right? Or let's say every region other than the South American region. Okay. So
Mm.
what are some differences that you notice between like these different regions? Let's say the NA lifestyle, EU, China, Pacific, if we had one. What's the difference between each region? When you're coaching the players, or you're talking to the staff. Is there any, like, any differences between any of these regions?
Okay. So I could be wrong because what I'm going to say later doesn't represent the entire region. It could be just represent only my team. So let's be clear about that first. So the difference between each like region and each different thing is like I would say quite clear. Like let's differentiate like just Western and Asia. So there's the Asia, like we have the our Pacific one, our China one, or even Korea one. Even though I haven't been to Korea, okay, but like basically in terms of our in like Asia wise, we are a bit what we call try hard region. Like a player will be really try hard, like they're really serious about the game, like they treat each other as like their teammate, like they. But that's why I not really like about that because like the environment is really really tension. Like there's no treating each other as like really friendly. I mean friendly. There's so like because I due to that right, a lot of them don't have the natural synergy. Like there's a thing what we
uh,
call vibe. You see, like for me, you and me, we are good friends together, right? So when we play together, you like automatically we have the like synergy going on because we have a good vibe together. But in like most Asia like region, right? How to say, we are this kind of thing is just not there. So it was quite tension in terms of gameplay. But for Western right, like for example, my team right now, O and Bo, and my team like before Okara, right, they are more a bit relaxing thing, but I won't say relaxing until the point they go grind the game. They should grind the game, right? They still want to be professional really hard, but they treat each other as their family. This is why I think is the most important thing about in game. You see, like they treat each other equally, respectfully, and like that's why they have a natural vibe going on. They perform really well. Like especially in Kara, like Kara was one of the team. It was how to say. At that time, actually, I was deciding should I just still continue coaching, like should I just focus IRL stuff. But then Kara give me like a vibe of like really really friendly, really family vibe. That's why I said okay, this is a team I really really want to go into it.
I see.
You see?
So basically, like, how they treat each other in these teams, basically will also help them as a, like, how would they perform as a team. So like, I mean, I understand that, like, a lot of the Eastern teams are more, there for the game, but like, I mean, you can look at how the Western players treat each other. On let's say, I wouldn't say it's a good platform to judge, but like, for example, Twitter, let's say in ranked, in game or whatever, you always see the players just like constantly, bantering with each other. However, you don't see that in Asia, because once
Mm.
any post goes up, it's probably something bad, or like, and stuff like that, because everyone here, especially the Koreans, like, everyone is serious, they want to play the game. Other than the notable contenders teams, where they live together, they, in the end, they still become family. But for a lot of the teams that are like, probably, let's say, OD and trials, they usually are just like, there for the game. If once they don't make it, bye bye, something like that. I think like, looking at all these regions, right? I don't know whether you agree with me, but bringing it back to our region, Pacific, is that like, a lot of our teams have mixtures of both regions. You have, like, teams that really, treat each other like family, like close friends, but when shit happens, boom, and the team just disappears. So like, I'm actually really curious, like, when you were coaching Jaeger, what were
Mm.
some of the things that you know you felt? Let's be real here. Let's be real here. It's completely like,
Mm.
yeah, no holding back. Your honest opinions, because we do have some members of Jaeger in the chat. So I'm actually really curious. Because you talked about
Ah.
NA. How they treat each other. You talk about the more Asia regions. So now we bring it back. To our home ground. So
So talking about Jaeger, right? Okay. This was actually an awkward question because you are in Jaeger
yeah,
also,
it
to be honest.
was in Jaeger.
Was in
Was
Jaeger.
in Jaeger. Spill the tea, like what Papa says.
Yeah. So like this is like what I mean. Jaeger in Jaeger kind of Jaeger wise, like people don't really like treat each other as a really what was it called? Family wise, you see. They just treat each other as a teammate. So that's why like how to say there was a lot of disconnecting, there's a lot of like what was it called? There's a lot of like internal issue going on also because like how to say just conflict between each other. So it was quite, I would say it was a bit sad, but in the end like it didn't turn out really, really badly. I would say everybody still got their shit correctly. Everybody still like what was it called? Fix their shit. Like, and honestly, it was a quite. I would say Jaeger was one of the thing I learned really hard because like Jaeger was technically my first single coach, and coming from a player wise, right, is I have really no idea how to fix all this like mental issue, all this like the conflict, you know.
Mm,
So that was one big failure for me. But then from there move on, I starting to learn from my Kara, starting to learn from intro, I starting to learn from how to fix all the issue because as a coach, right, a lot of people misunderstanding the term of coach. A lot of people think coach is just like teaching you how to play the game, but that's not. Like coaches is about to how do you build the team together, how do you bring the team together as one. You see,
I see.
that's that's why I say Jaeger was. I won't say it's a failure. It was still. I would say it's a decent team. I would say. But it was a one that like come out realize that what is my short, what is my weakness, what is my stronger point. You see.
So basically, Jaeger was like the one of the key stepping stones for you,
Mm.
as becoming a coach, as you pretty much had to deal with a lot of the things that happened in the, as your first team, having to learn like what this is what probably, teams would face and everything. And then, moving forward, you probably had more experience, or like more are more prepared to deal with this kind of scenarios, that you face back from Jaeger. So, well, I mean, I've never really heard this, POV from you. So today is actually a first for me as well. But I'm glad
Mm-hmm.
that, even though Jaeger wasn't the most perfect team, but like being able to contribute to your career was, is pretty nice to hear. So yeah. So talking about teams that you're in, let's say player or as a coach, which team was the most memorable? Like, I'm pretty sure you
Mm.
have, so like, you talked about
Player
Kara being,
included, right?
yeah, player include both player and coach. Which team stuck out to you the most, or the most
I would
memorable one?
say the most one in terms of player wise is still G. Like I say G, we bring a lot of experience together. Like I say they teach me a lot in life lesson. You see, So that's GE for sure. And actually that was the thing I stayed with it for the longest actually. Then in terms of coach, I would say Kara. Even though my time with Kara is like not that long compared to I think O and Bo I have a longer time. Actually I think both of these is share. But like I said, Kara was like one like how to say that I really feel like I want to join to the team because like due to the environment and how they treat me, how like what was it called, how the player respect about me also.
I see. So basically, as a player, you'll probably be GE because of the things you learn, the new things you learn, especially playing in GE is an organization, and I don't think like a lot of players ever will have the chance to play under an organization. So as a organization team compared to a team of friends, definitely there would be a lot of structural differences and different
Mm.
things that you can learn from you know just it being having a completely different environment. So that's very nice to hear. So you're currently a coach for ONB or RIP as you mentioned. So what are some things that you like to share, about being a contenders player? Okay, not exactly it has to be like EU specifically, but what are some of the things that you feel that is required, as at least like the skills needed at least to be a contenders player, coming from a coach like you, because
Okay.
our region is kind of like new. There are a lot of upcoming players as well. We don't know whether Overwatch will be there, let's say 5 years. But, for the players out there who really want to, kickstart their possible journey, what are some of the things that you would like to share in terms of how to become, a tier two player?
Okay, let's start with a really basic first, like a thing that everybody know, skill. Like obviously, like a contender player skill level is a lot more higher than a casual player. That's I think everybody know that. But let's talk about something that's not a lot of people know about, which is mentality. Like which is like how your attitude. So a lot of people say this out. You just think, oh, I'm the best player in the world. I'm really good. I hit 4.6. I hit 4.7. I should be in contender. I should be in out. But that's the wrong idea. Like it could be older to like in the professional as a to become a professional player, you have to think like a professional. You have to act like a professional. Like that's how you like what was it called? You can this is how like you work in your real life. You have to do everything professionally. What I mean by that is that you have to have a professional. You have to have like what we call equal respect to your teammate. You have to have like a what I call the heart of like self-improving, hardworking, then determination. All these things is really important. So a lot of like how to say a lot of players, a lot of I can how to say I know a lot of high rank player doesn't have that. That's why they are not in contender. You see, because they cannot think like that. They just play the game. You see. That's why there's what differentiate between casual player and competitive player. That's why I think attitude and mentality is one of the most important thing throughout the game.
I see, I see. So basically, not only must you know how to be a player, you need to know how to act like a player that is actually professional. Like have if like simply saying, I want to go pro, I want to play for organization. Word of mouth is really easy, but your actions have to like live up to the standards that you want to reach in terms of being making player your career or something like that. So you know being a Southeast Asian player, we do have some notable names that have made it big. Let's say we have Bacon Jack. Okay, they're not Southeast Asia, but more of like Pacific region. We have players like Bacon Jack, A Ting who has made it to the Overwatch League and stuff like that. So what is one issue that you feel coming from, let's say, a C player? What's the one thing that is holding us back as like to be able to reach our best?
I would say how to say okay, let's start with the technical first. Technical first, like the most important thing I think a lot of Southeast Asia who play open division people have suffered this before is we are forced to play in high ping. I think everybody knows that. Like there's like for some stupid reason, Blizzard decided to put like or got Southeast Asia server in America and put like the rest like Korea, Taiwan, Japan in Asia. And our default open division server region is Asia. So most of our players in Southeast Asia had to play in a high ping environment, so it's a natural disadvantage already. Then that's the first thing I would say about it. Secondly, is like how to say the amount of what was the word for like that no what's the word connection no like a word when you like let people know about you see.
Or connections, like putting your name out there.
Yeah, it's like quite less. Like we don't have like good good environment for like help to promoting the player. You see, like like and in NA or in Korea wise, like they treat their player as like a actual star. Like they treat their player really respect. They promoting their player. Like even you can see whether in their contender channel they are making a player player documentary, like telling the player how they grind, how they evolve, what's the thing. So making their name out there. But in our region, we just don't have that at that time. You see, so that's a sad part. But then, thirdly, let's talk about like I mean, okay, this is throwing a bit of shame, but
No
our
problem.
region, how to say, our region is like how to say, how how to say,
Just throw it out.
because we,
Just throw it out.
okay. We are a really internal region, right? We are a really internal region, so in a way that we don't have really have chance to compare with other people. So they build up ego for a lot of like people. I think you can agree with that, right? So like for example, if you just play in Southeast Asia, right? You play in Southeast Asia, so there's so little player over there. You can be like a best player in the world, but if I throw you into Korea rank, you're fucking. Oh, sorry for language.
Oh.
You're going to get you're gonna get destroyed for sure. You see.
I see. I
Uh,
see.
that's right, but like, cause a lot of people they just stay in Southeast Asia. So as like you get like how you carry the game all the time, so you build up ego. Like if soon I made out the timing for you to like start improving and learning. You see. Sorry for the language, by the way. My bad.
It's fine. It's fine. So like you mentioned about you did say like for example, let's say if you take a C player and then you throw him into Korea rank, you get destroyed or something like that. So like we all know in the past few years, as our servers actually dwindled in our player base and stuff like that, you see notable players like, okay, for example, players like Oputo, players like the ex Overwatch player Patipan who is now in Valorant, and other players as well. They've actually been playing on Korea servers or even NA servers. Their players have been migrating.
Hmm.
So what would be your biggest tip for newer players who want to possibly venture into this kind of regions, since you have pretty much coached most of these regions? What would be a tip for a growing player, in order to venture into unknown waters?
Okay, first of all, like I said, mentality and attitude is important. So you cannot keep complaining about like I said, you cannot complain about ping, you cannot complain about the like other region being racist to you. You just have to keep like your stuff together and I grind hard grinding by yourself. That's the first thing I would say. Secondly is like how to say, this is a hard part. But when you want to play in other region, you 100% you have to learn their language. No, not say you have to learn their language, but you have to at least able to communicate with them. Like for example, if you're playing in Korea server, you have to at least understand how to call like just simple call in Overwatch, like telling them the information, because Overwatch is a really team dependent game. Like you really have to like give information to your teammate like how you want to execute your plan. Only your team can help you there. Or not, you'll be just crying like why my team never heal me, like Genji, like where's my mercy? You see.
I see.
It, that's but like in other regions like Anna is simple. You just have to speak English. I think most of us here can speak English. But like let's say in Korea or like let's say even in let's say in a weird way you want to grind in EU basically is still English, but some of the people they like to speak like Russian, like to speak like Allah. Is it called Allah? No, the Arabic. Yeah, Arabic. Right, you have to learn a little bit like how they speak.
I see. So being like, so once you move into a different different region, you have to do what the Romans do. If you're playing Korea, you have to learn simple Korean. If you're playing NA, you have to learn their lingo. You play in EU, possibly you need to learn Russian. Stuff like chat's going crazy when when you're speaking. Oh my gosh. Okay,
My
but
bad, my bad.
so yeah, so basically in order to go to these different regions, you have to treat yourself, then you have to control yourself, knowing that going to these different regions is not going to be easy. First you're going to have a ping you know difference compared to other regions. You're going to have a language barrier possibly, and then for some regions, I won't say which regions, but they tend to like to call you out for being a foreigner. So those are some of the things that you have to be ready if you want to, let's say, grow as a player. Playing C servers probably wouldn't just cut it. You have to go hop around, play against better players and stuff like that. And only then, when you learn how to control yourself in those different regions and improve, then you'll be able to move forward, in this Overwatch game. So, moving on, this is our very first podcast, for the year 2021. We are already nearing September. It's the first, but it's also really late. But next year 2022 is around the corner, and we have heard news about Overwatch League, Overwatch 2, and stuff like that. So what plans do you have for 2022?
Mm, okay, this is a tough question actually because uh like if people okay I haven't properly announced it. Okay, this is a quick fast announcement. Okay, hopefully people here don't shout like too loudly, but like basically after the trial session in my O and Bo team, I'm gonna like take a short break, so means I'm gonna leave my team for a while. Like then I will like whether I come back, that will be a question I have to make in the future. But I will say I will be taking a break until at least 2022 to see what is my next plan. So far, like in terms of Overwatch, I will still how to say I want to see how the scene grow a bit first because the scene of tier 2 is a bit poorly developed, I would say. But like I said just now, Overwatch 2 is still just like near the law. Like there's still a lot of potential in the game. Like you never know like a game like rise up again, you see. So I want to see how the game progress a bit, then I to decide what I'm going to do next.
I see. So basically now you're just gonna be, taking a chill pill, just sitting
Hmm.
back, relax, and see what's in store for the next year. We don't know whether Overwatch will suddenly come out with a god patch, and then all of a sudden, the meta becomes crazy fun and stuff like that, or we'll get another goats or Orisa
Yep.
Lucio Moira team comp. You'll never know. We'll never know. So we just all gotta be ready for that probably. So one of my last questions is Overwatch. You know, what does it mean to you?
So I think you a bit laggy there. You
Oh,
go cut off.
okay. So what does Overwatch the game mean to you? Like what significance does it have? Considering that you have played so many years, you have coached, for like almost a
Hmm.
year now. What does this game mean to you?
So Overwatch, yeah, this that like I said, this is my first what was it called? My first FPS game to be fair, even my first PC game. So it means a lot to me. Like it bring me to the world of gaming. It bring me to know a lot of people like you, like my friend,
Oh,
like
so
even with
touched.
the community I in right now, all this stuff. Yeah, so it means a lot. Then it's also like a game like I say, like when I was in GE, they teach me how to grow as a person as well. So it teach me a lot in life lesson also. So I would say Overwatch is a really, really significant game to me. Like one of the best game I ever played, I would say, in terms of like what was it called? The game out there.
I see. Emotional. Okay. So basically Overwatch, has helped you, develop probably as a person as well, getting you to know like so many different people from so many different regions, even, and also growing as a player and a coach. I'm pretty sure you had fun. Despite the bad metas, I would feel you pretty much, I would say, had a lot of fun, playing Overwatch for the past few
Yeah.
years. So that's nice to hear. That's nice to hear. So we've actually, I've done all my Q&A already. I've already milked all the information I needed from you, apart
Mm-hmm.
from the tea about Jaeger and stuff like that. So we're actually gonna now open, the floor to, viewers and those who are in our podcast stage. If you guys have any questions, uh, any questions for Blue Eyes over here, now is your time to shoot him the questions. It can be anything as long as it's reasonable. You know, feel free to send him, or you can type in chat, and stuff like that. Let me know what questions you have for him. Let's say for example as a player, or if you're in going like looking forward, to become a coach, for teams, or if you are coaching and stuff like that. If any questions, feel free to ask us right now. And then the crow flies. But yeah. So while we wait for like any possible questions, okay. Uh, Blue Eyes, what's your favorite meta?
My favorite meta. Goats is still the best because like there was a time I was still a player then like what was it called? Lucio was so much fun. You can poop a lot, you can carry so much again. So Goat is still my favorite meta. Oh, by the way, I see we have a question
Yep.
right here.
So let's have you read it out and
So
answer it.
yeah, the frequency. How do you start to become a coach? So okay, the fun fact is how I started to become a coach is like so before I even become a coach, when I was still a player, right? I was actually the role of player coach, meaning to say like I'm playing, but I also analyzing the game in game and outside the game for my player to help them improve also. So that's the time when I realized that okay, my analysis is actually not bad. I actually understand how the game works around. Also like I learned a lot from my ex head coach like he was drawing from Italy, so he teach me how to coach also. So there was a time I realized that I can do that by myself. Then I decided to give it a try when Jaeger gave me the option to like try to coach them. You see. So that's how I started to become a coach. Then slowly I learned like and improve along the way with my other different team, and now here I am with O and Ball.
So I actually have a question for you. You know, now that the RK frequency has actually brought up, you know, a lot of people think that, you know, as a coach, you know, you have to know the game very well, or you have to play the game very well. You know, so like we do see a lot of coaches, some of the best coaches out there. You know, I think one of them being Krusty, that people have mentioned that he was only diamond or he was only plat in Overwatch, but he's a god coach. You know, so like what are some of the notable qualities of a coach that you must have in order to be a good coach, other than skill level in game?
I say again, attitude mentality is the most important thing. I will always emphasize this too. This is the most important thing. Then other than that, like I said before, the coach you have to know how to bring a team together. Like in a way, coach is like a psychiatry, like psychology no. Yeah, it's psychiatry. Yes, if my English
Psychiatrist.
not wrong, yeah,
Okay.
psychiatry. You have to understand your player mental. You have to help them fix the mental. You have to help them go through hard time. That's like how a good coach differentiate than a normal coach. I help them through all this time, help them develop as a person, as and a player also.
So basically, you have to be other than the teacher, you kind of have to be like the mom of the team. I would
Mm.
say, you know, you have to make sure that the players are doing the things right, and then you also have to make sure that the players are doing the things well. You know, you have to make sure
I
that
won't
they're
say
in a
it's a
good state.
mom, more like a dad. Mom, you have to like actually take care of all little stuff, like all those little stuff,
The
like
manager lah.
that's this manager, yeah, this manager,
So basically, you have to be the dad and the teacher lah of the team.
yeah.
I see, I see. So rank probably wouldn't be an issue. It's more of how you know are able to see the game, you know, bring perspectives of the game to your team, you know, as you know, as a third person. You know, there are some things maybe in players, for example, if they're playing a match or they're playing a scrim, there are some things they might not notice, but you as a coach, you know, a third party viewer from like you know the scrim would probably take notice of. So that's nice to hear. That's nice to hear. And we still have we still have some time left.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys have any questions, it can be related to Overwatch. It can not be related to Overwatch depending on what you ask as well. So the floor is open. You can
Yo,
feel free to yo.
Yo,
speaking
what's
of
up?
managers, I'm here with a question.
Okay,
Oh,
so
Ryan. Okay.
Yes. So, do you, Blueice, do you think that as a player in Singapore or Southeast Asia, is it still worth grinding Overwatch in its current state, or is it better to just wait and see what happens with Overwatch 2? Like, is it still worth it to play this game every day, and will it actually help, or is it just better to just wait for Overwatch 2?
I would say this game is still a really fun and good game to play. To be honest, like so, I don't think you should try hard grinding like playing like 8 hours a day. It's a bit like how to say too much. I would say, but playing like with your friend about like 2-3 hours a day just for fun for entertainment, just fine. Like and like I say, probably it's best you like say like for example, just some I say I going to take a break, wait for like see the game how the game progress first. I think there should be the plan also for most people who want to go pro if you want. So you can just what was it called? Wait a bit. I mean, you play the game frequently or not, your skill will just drop. You see, but like don't need to be so try hard. You just play for a bit, then like when the game develop really good and you decide to go pro, that's the time okay you hard grind it.
so thank you Rxis X Tier 2 manager. Thank you for your input. We really appreciate it. And fun fact, Rxis over here, the
Don't
one
I
that just
sense
asked the question.
sarcasm over here?
No sarcasm, no sarcasm. The next thing I'm gonna say is actually a fact. You know, okay. Fun fact: the Liquipedia page, all right,
Yeah.
that you see over here was made by RXs. So, you know,
Yeah.
thank you very much for
Yep.
And
supporting
actually,
our local.
Ayako's one also.
Hi, yes, but today our main focus here is on Blueice, so we got to give him credit. But yeah, you know, credits to
Yo,
RXs for
speaking of the
making all
Wikipedia
these.
page, I found that picture through the archives of 2018, man. 2019.
Oh,
Oh,
that
oh,
picture was so old. If you guys are
Going
wondering
through
why the
like
picture looks a bit
tons of
okay.
Facebook posts just to find that beautiful picture.
oh yeah, tell us
Okay,
more.
one
Tell
thing
us more.
if you guys if you guys are wondering why the picture looks so much different than I am right now, because this picture was taken like 3 years ago when I was in India. They fly me to India actually. They do a proper makeup, they do like proper hairstyle for me. Plus the fact that if you guys doesn't know, Malaysia has been locked down for about 9 months for now. So yeah, I got fatter. Sorry.
It's okay. Me too. Okay, no, wait, never mind. I was always
I'm sad.
But anyways, but okay. So where do you take this photo actually? Like I think.
What?
Where do you take this photo? The photo that.
Oh,
is
it
on
was
my
India.
No, as in where exactly?
It was what do you mean where?
Like where are you posing at? You know, the background, the ledge, and everything.
Oh, they post this photo. They posting the GE like official like Facebook and
No,
Insta sign to
okay.
promote their player.
Okay, not post. 你这个照片是哪里拍的？你是站在哪里拍的？
India like that. I play India in a studio.
Studio. Then the background is.
Then-
Just went to some
Yeah.
random building in India.
No. The
and still
background is
top, dude.
okay. The background was edited. The background was not actually
Oh.
their background. You see,
Okay.
the background was in a green screen behind it. Okay.
Got
Don't-
scammed.
You thought we actually go to the ledge in the sky building and take a picture from the building behind?
Oh.
No.
I mean, it is pretty well edited then, I will say.
Yeah. Okay. To be fair, that was really well edited. But okay. Wow. I didn't know that. I always thought like that was, you know, you standing on, because I remember GE had this one video where they were like flying the drone or something like that, and then I think it was the Carefree era. So like
That
I
was in
thought.
Korea.
Oh, Korea. Okay. Bad memory. But okay. Good to know. Good to know. That was a green screen. Okay, that's pretty cool. So yeah, we are actually slowly coming towards the end of our session. So if you guys have have any remaining questions, now is the time for you to ask. Okay, because after this session, if you want to ask Blueice any questions, you have to pay him. All right, he's an actual coach. I'm just kidding. But if you have any questions now, other than where we poop, all right, Crescent.
Yeah.
Other
Crescent.
than that, feel free to
What's
type
your
it in
favorite-
chat.
What's the favorite food, Blueice?
My favorite food, bak kut teh.
Yeah.
Okay.
so-
Oh yeah, you did mention before Malaysia bak kut teh #1. I agree.
Yeah, Malaysia bak kut teh number one.
Klang,
To use Singapore bak kut teh, whoever said here coming to tell me say bak kut teh in Singapore is good, I will say come and Malaysia eat. I bring you. I even belanja you if you want come.
Man really be dissing Singapore in a Singaporean podcast.
Yeah.
Sorry lor.
Got
okay.
someone named Bakute in the chat. I think he also from around your area there, Blueice.
Oh yeah,
So
I think so.
fellow proud
Yeah,
Malaysian.
Klang.
I've actually Klang bak kut teh at my place, right? Ooh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
Klang.
but-
Klang is the city of bak kut teh. I live there also.
fellow Klangster, if that's a word. But okay. Bak kut teh is actually pretty good in Malaysia. I went there once. It was cheap. It was awesome.
To
It made-
shit? He went there to shit?
It was
What
cheap.
the-
It was cheap. I don't know how that turned out to be shit for you, but all right. It's fine. I won't ask you. Okay, we have about like a minute before I do the closing for this podcast. So if you guys have any last remaining questions, it can be anything from as a player or as a coach or anything related to the game. Feel free to drop us a comment or comment. Feel
Damn.
free to type in chat, or just let us
I have
know in the
another
Discord.
question, man.
Okay.
You have
go
to
on.
say out.
Throughout your long career, who was your favorite player to play with?
Favorite player to play?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys might don't know this guy. It was in my GE time. It was my flag support player. It was called Watcher. Like through this day, even though last time I even got into contender, we are a much better flag support. But Watcher was literally the best flag support I ever have. Like me and him just have the natural synergy. Like I always know when to peel for him. He always know like how to tag angle, that how to enable me all this stuff. And he was such a great person, and he like teach me a lot of things also. Like you guys might don't know about him, but like he was one of the my best friend and my best player. there's also like Method, like was a captain of it. He's like my big brother basically. He teach me a lot of things also, like how to say, and like he's the one who bring me to GE also.
Mm. So shout outs to GE Global Esports. You know, uh, fun fact: Blueice has been in GE as well. I also have been GE as well. So he's kind of like my senior in a way. But so yeah, shout outs to GE. Without your guidance, we wouldn't have him over here, doing this interview. And Maya has actually asked, like, why coach and why not stay as a player. I think you mentioned it just now, but do you mind, like, like
Yeah, it's okay.
TLDRing
So
it?
I can do a TLDR version. Basically, like my health is going bad. Then also I have to focus on school stuff. That it's hard to balance between my player time and school thing. So I decided to just like move on to more relaxing role for me. I would say like cause analysis is a lot like much better, much easier for me compared to hard grinding the game. That's why.
I hope that answers you, Maya. Now maybe your brain fell asleep. Now it's okay. We all have those days. Oh yeah, and one final question I have for you, Blue Eyes. When
Mhm.
you did play ranked, when you did play, scrims and everything, do you have like a go-to song in the
Go to
background,
song.
or do you not play music in the background? Or even now, what's your go-to song? This is just a
When I
small
scream,
fun fact.
okay, when I scream, I don't play this song at all because I have to focus in listening to comms and everything. But when I do play casually, when I do play like rank or something like that, I do play song. I play like some Japanese song or I just play some piano music shit.
I see. Cause I don't know. For me, I play Hannah Montana. If you didn't
Okay,
know, because there's this one song that goes like, because recently I've been playing a lot of NA. So one
I
of the
see.
one of the songs that I've been listening a lot to is this song called "Nobody's Perfect." You know, so it's like
Ah,
it's like one, two, three, four. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has
that's
those
what you've
days.
been dropping.
Yes. So it's okay. Every game I get into is like, all right, it's fine. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days. So I went on to lose like 8 games in a row. But okay, anyways, you know, boost his own morale. Yeah,
Mm.
true. Okay,
True,
so
true, true.
Blyce, we have come to the
Okay.
end of our podcast. Really happy to have you here as our first guest. Um, it's an honor, being able to interview you. Have being a coach in our region who has played in almost every single contenders region actually, if I would say so. Other than Korea, because you have to be technically be Korean in order to coach in Korea.
Mm.
But really happy to have you here today.
Uh,
I hope you had a great time, even though your interview was me. But but I hope you had a great time. And do you have any final words left to say to chat? Any closing
uh,
message?
I would say don't give up on the game yet. The game still have a lot of potential. And it's a fun game. Keep playing it. And I believe we have still like pub session or like more arcade session going on in the future. Feel free to like join us and have fun also. Okay, I think that's all. Thanks for having me, man, Ayako.
No problem, no problem. Okay, before you go, uh,
Mm.
Alexis or Maya, could you do us a favor? Take a screenshot of us. Okay, the Dragon Ball thingy. This I don't know if you can see from like Twitch. Can you do this with me? Like the fusion.
I'll take it.
Yeah, look at the stream and stuff like that.
Oh my god, you
Let's take a
guys, I do
photo.
you want me to do
Yes,
that?
yes, take a photo. Let's take a photo. It's the first session. Okay, do it to your other side.
Other side. So
Yeah,
like this.
the other way. The
Just
other
see
way.
on stream, Blue Eyes.
The
Oh,
other
other
way.
way, other way.
Yeah,
Okay,
the
okay,
other way.
okay,
All
okay,
right,
Yeah,
all
okay.
right,
I
all right, all
see
right,
it
all
on
right.
your stream.
All right, all right.
Yeah.
If bring it closer, bring it
Yeah.
closer. You.
Hard lah.
Okay, one, two, three. Someone take a screenshot. All right, I think that should be enough.
Okay,
Okay,
that's a bit embarrassing, I would say.
it's okay. You already dissed our region, in whole two, so it's fine. I mean, it's all about fun now. It's not like this will be saved
Yeah,
on
true.
Twitch.
That's all about
Just
fun.
kidding. I'll clip it.
Oh
But
no.
yeah. Thanks
Yeah,
for thanks
definitely someone
for
to clip it.
thanks for turning up for this interview. It was really I
Hmm?
had a lot of fun interviewing you. getting to know more about you as a player and a coach. Even though I'm a friend of yours, there are some things I've still learned from you today. So I'm really happy that you're able to do this interview with me. So yeah, so thanks a lot. All right, so
Alright, thanks for having me.
no problem. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. See ya.
Bye bye. Okay, so we've come to the end of our very first Heroes podcast. This definitely is the first, but it won't be the last. We'll still have we have a lot of events, a lot of podcasts in mind and planned out. For the coming months. I'll be trying to bring on you know more players and coaches, or maybe even streamers, to share more or different aspects about Overwatch in our region in general. So do look forward to our sorry, my nose itches a lot, but do look forward to our future events. We have pugs as well. We do have master classes coming up. We even have arcade days where we get the community together to play different arcade modes. We had a Ryan and Genji dodgeball previously. So yeah, we do have a lot of things stored in for our program that for the next few months. So do tune in. Feel free to join our Discord if you want, and stay updated to the events that we have. So yeah, we've actually come to the end of our very first podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned something new, coming from a player who has many experiences as a player, and for those who want as well as a coach. I hope he has answered some of your questions as well. I hope that his experiences for the past few months and years something you can take away as something memorable. So yeah, hold on. And you have to go through some of these follows over here. Overshake, Blueice followed as well, Fafa, Yoshinori, Mr. Noisy Ray, Mina, Joshi Dog, Neeps, and King D. Thank you guys for following. I try not to read out the follows during our interviews, so we can our guests wouldn't feel like cut off or something like that. So I really appreciate all the follows to our channel. We are still growing, but we all gotta start somewhere. Also, thank you Alexis for the Kofi. We this program
You're welcome, man.
is yeah, you're welcome, man. I appreciate it. Technically, it's like a self donate, but we appreciate every single help coming from the community. So if you do want to pitch in, you be part of our community. I wouldn't say okay, you don't have to donate to be part of our community, but if you do want to donate, feel free to drop us a support down with Kofi. We are doing this on our free time with our own planning and stuff like that. It's 100% for the community, by the community. So uh yeah, we put in uh we hope to be able to revive the region with like activities, bring the community, trying to bring the casual community back out, attracting players, and hopefully everyone will have a good time in the coming months with all the events that we have. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this session. There'll be more to come, and we possibly might have bigger guests, in mind for the coming session. So do tune in to the coming podcast in the next few months. And DevCore, thank you for the follow. We really appreciate it. And yeah, this we'll be having this podcast, possibly every third Sunday of the month. So do keep that in mind. It'll be around the same timing as well. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you do like this content as well, do drop our Twitch a follow. Do join our Discord. We'll be keeping the Discord members keep you guys updated with every single event that we have. So yeah, hope you guys liked it, and we'll see you next time.